Hey, Void. So, we're just shy of hour 11, finishing movie number 5. 5. Starting to lose track a little bit. Getting a little antsy, a little fidgety. Okay, so, um, Possessor. That's what I'm watching. So, Possessor. Another one that was sitting in my collection for a little bit, but hadn't gotten around to, though I'd heard great things about. And, yeah, it's a trippy little film. I did really enjoy this one. It's written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg and came out 2020. Now, Possessor feels like one of those sci-fi horrors. I'd put it kind of in like the same genre as Scanners, but it's definitely a different feel. I don't know if you can have like an assassin slice of life, but that kind of what it feels like, really, because this doesn't really feel like a beginning or an end. It just seems like an incident in this and a magical assassin's life. Oh, magic is the wrong word. Sci-fi assassin. Anyway, so Tasia Voss is a corporate assassin. Essentially, through a scientific process, she's actually injected into a person to carry out an assassination and then self-terminate before jumping back into herself. Which, in outright, is kind of a grounds for a lot of horror right there. Is one of your loved ones suddenly freaks out and starts self-destructing and killing you. Yeah, that's prime ground for some good horror stuff. And this one definitely goes psychedelic at times too. So it's an experience. Sorry, Void. Getting a little scatterbrained after nearly 11 hours, and this film was kind of a heavy one, so it's making it a little bit harder to get the head together. Gore effects, like a lot of the things I've been watching today, a little bit over the top. This one is definitely there's not as many, but the ones that are definitely very bloody. It's I will say towards the end, it's kind of hard. A lot of this movie is up to interpretation, so a lot of what's going on is hard to a little bit hard to follow at times, and I don't think that's just from my constant movie watching, but I think it's meant to be because as essentially she's injected into a man in order to essentially kill his boss and his fiance to make this corporate merger go through or something to that effect. Anyway, as the assassination goes through, it's unclear who's in control anymore at a point, and it's kind of a back and forth as she's not able to pull herself back out. And then it's him trying to figure out what happened to him. And it's kind of hard to tell who's riding who at that point. It's really hard to describe this film, other than the premise of someone possessing someone else for assassination. Doesn't sound like a horror, sounds more like a sci-fi action, but no, this one goes into the kind of a bit of body horror, dysphoria, and puts you kind of right in the thick of things with the gore. So it's definitely qualifies in the horror genre. It's artistic, but not in the same pretentious way a house that Jack built was. It's kind of a head trip in more ways than one, and when it goes psychedelic, you get some really interesting visuals. I'll give Possessor 7 MacGuffins. It's definitely a one you. It's hard to describe, and one that's probably not going to be watched often, but it definitely was an interesting movie. I really did like this one. So far today, I think it's trying to remember everything I did watch today. I think it's my favorite so far, if memory is serving. I'm trying to remember what movie number 2 was. Oh, Barbarian. Oh, that one was really good too. It's between this one and Barbarian for my favorite so far. This one, 7 MacGuffins I'll give to. It's very entertaining. Yeah. It's another one that's best to go in colder than not. I've already said more about this film than I should have, but it's a good one. Getting harder to review a little bit. Organizing thoughts getting a little trickier, such as I'm trying to do this rapid fire to get right onto the next movie. Well, my next one should be a little bit easier to talk about because sharks. I've had a lot of experience reviewing shark movies, so that one should go well. All right, Lloyd. See you in a couple hours.